this is Bobby with Bobby Stamps, and I have another card I'm going to share with you guys today. I love this. I'm going to be using our new Foam Adhesive Sheets. I love, can you guys see that dimension on there where I popped that up? And I'll show you how to use those. So let's go ahead and move that out of the way and we'll get started. For my card base, I am going to be using Thick Whisper White. And this is cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. I have a strip of mint macaron that is cut at 1/2 inch, and it's just a full strip. I'm just going to trim it down after I stamp the sentiment on it. I have a piece of just regular Whisper White, and this piece is cut at 2 3/4, I believe. Let me grab my ruler. Yes, 2 3/4 by 4 1/2. And what I did was I just measured my die is all I did. So that way I didn't want to waste my foam adhesive sheet. So I just cut that right down to the exact size that I'm going to need for that. And then I'm going to do my watercolor background on our glossy white cardstock. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to bring in my grid paper so I don't make a mess. So the inks I'm using today is Daffodil Delight. I don't know why this one's turned and I didn't have it closed. Rococo Rose and Mint Macaron. And I've already placed my re-inkers, so I'm using the same re-inkers in my little tray. And these are just cheap trays I get at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to move that over there. I do prefer our glossy for most of my watercoloring projects. I just love how it turns out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have just a spare glass of water, and I'm just going to put some water on my glossy white cardstock. And you do want to be careful because this is just, you know, regular cardstock. So it can, the fibers can break down and tear and rip and things like that. So we do have to be careful. And for this background, I'm not using any fancy brushes. I just used this big wide tip brush. And so I'm just going to go in and I just kind of put my Rococo Rose. I'm going to move this closer. I'm going to clean my brush off. And then I'm going to go in and pick up some of that Daffodil Delight. And I'm just going to take it right back through there. I'm going to clean this because I've gone through that pink before I go back in. And so I'm just going to do that. And then clean my brush because I'm going to go in and grab some mint macaron. Okay, so let's grab that. And then we'll just kind of put that through there as well. Okay, nothing fancy here, you guys. Now, I do want a little bit more, and you can kind of glob up some of that, but I do want a little bit more pink. So I'm going to go back in with a Rococo Rose. So I do kind of want that to be more. And then I'm going to put a little bit more Daffodil Delight in there as well. Just want to be careful when you're doing this because you can get your colors mixing and then they can turn into like a grayish color that you don't want. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn my heat tool on really quick just to get that to dry. And then the little specks is where I actually used the paper towel. And then you can also kind of dab it, turn it over even if you want to do something like that to get all that off of there. I was just trying to create a background. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to lay that off to the side. And let me clean my brush, make sure I have that cleaned pretty good. Move this out of the way. I'm going to move this and hopefully that will not cause any accidents. I'm going to grab my piece of Whisper White. I'm just going to fold this over because it's a little bit wet. Actually fold it again. I don't want to get my paper wet that I'm getting ready to use. So I'm just going to lay my piece of Whisper White. And I'm going to open up all of these. And these are our Stampin' sponges. I just dipped my finger in the Rococo Rose. Let me wipe that off. And I take the old, it's retired now, but the little, I can't remember the name of it, the tag, to create these, and then I just staple them on there. Okay, so I'm just going to take my, I'm just going to clean that off because I feel like I just got my fingerprints on there. Doesn't matter, I'm not heat embossing it, but. So I'm just going to take the Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to start in a corner. And I'm kind of doing it diagonally. So something like this. And then let's go in with the Rococo Rose next. Kind of blend the two together. And then we'll bring in Knit Macaron last. And I feel like this is the hardest color to get to show up. Grab some more of that. And you can see if you don't start off on the paper and if you go directly, that's what you're going to get, is that right there. The sponge, the little divots in the sponge, but it's okay because not a lot of this is going to be seen. I would be a lot more careful if this was going to stay just like it is and make sure that I was going, starting on my grid paper, moving towards my cardstock. But because I'm going to die cut that out, I'm not too worried about it today. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with some more of that Daffodil Delight. Okay, so then I want to remove that. I should have waited actually because we need to adhere this. So I'm just going to, this has two sides of the sticky. So you're going to peel one side off. And I'm just going to lay that. And this is the hardest thing, is getting it to not stick to your finger so you can adhere it. I haven't figured out a neat way to do that yet, because every time you let go, it wants to stick to whatever you're using it, as it is right there. I struggled with this yesterday. And I don't know if there's a way maybe to peel this back and slowly, but I just kind of did one of those numbers. And then you can see I didn't do a very good job there. I cut it a little bit longer, so I'm just going to trim that off because I don't want that to stick on my die cutting machine. Okay. It's sticking to my fingers. Let me get it out of the way and throw it away. Now, this is where I want to, and I think I forgot to mention, guys, I'm using the Forever Blossoms stamp set and dies. Sorry about that. I get excited and just want to start my project. So I'm going to use the our Stampin' Emboss Buddy. I know it's no longer available. I did think somebody said the other day, though, that I think there was people saying that it was brought back, but I don't think it was. I think the Pierce Mat was, but I don't think the Emboss Buddy was. I could be wrong about that. So I'm going to stamp my image using Versamark ink, and I hope that I did it. It looks like my die is probably not going to fit around there because I got a little bit too far over to the left. I'm going to bring in my white embossing powder. And you could absolutely stamp your image without putting that foam on the back of it first. It doesn't really matter. You can see I still got a good image, but you could do that. You could stamp it in the Versamark, heat set it, and then put the foam on the back. I just decided to do it this way today. Okay, let me turn my heat tool on and melt that powder. Trying to keep my fingers back because the heat tool gets very hot. And then you just want to make sure that you have all of it melted. Okay. Now let's go ahead and move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in, I'm actually going to use my Stamparatus because I struggle with the smaller sentiments if they're skinnier, like the width. Let me show you what I mean. First, I want to close these up because that's just an accident waiting to happen. So let me close all of these up and get them out of the way. Okay, I'll put those up when I'm done. I'm just going to take my strip, place it on here, put a magnet there, not magnetic, and I'm going to take this off, and it's been cleaned. I want to straighten that up just a little bit, and I'm just going to place it right there. And I'm doing this because I feel like when I'll show you. You can see just a little bit of excess that I have on there. And I feel like doing it this way. I'm going to move my stamp set under here. So that kind of flattens my plate there. But I feel like you can ink it up twice and not have to worry about getting smudges. And then you don't have to push so hard so you don't worry about rocking. Let's do it again. And then just do it again. And I'm not pushing too hard because I don't want it to rock. Okay, that should be good. I'm not going to close that because my stamp's still on there, but I do want to put my magnet back before I forget that. Bring back in the white embossing powder. And just give that a nice coating. And do it again just to make sure I have it all covered. And flick it, and it looks good. Let's use the heat tool again. It's nice and heated up so it won't take so long to melt. Move that out of the way and grab my Big Shot. And then I'm just going to place this on here. Line up the die that coordinates with it. Okay. And because this is so thick, I feel like that moved. I want to look. Because this is so thick, I'm going to run it through probably twice. I just want to make sure I get a nice cut. Okay, let's do it 4 times. Okay, let me see if this... Now, I would let this dry a little bit more, but because of the video time, we're just going to go ahead and put it down. So I'm going to use the Stamp and Seal Plus, or Seal Plus, not Stamp. Jeez, oh, peas. Oops, that's not too straight. There we go. So just put that all the way around. Oops. Looks like I probably should have put more around the edge, and I didn't. So you know what? I'm just going to go in with some Tombow. And just put some down right close to the edge so it'll hold that down. Guess I didn't do a good job putting my seal down, you guys. Okay. Now let's pop this out. And it just pops right out. Okay, and then you have this little piece right here that you want to pop out. That little piece and that little piece that we want to remove. Okay, and then you can kind of put it where you want it. I'm going to take my sentiment and I just cut this at an angle and then cut this at an angle going in the same direction. Okay, so let's make sure that we have enough room. And I kind of want that to the right. So I think I'm just going to put that down first. So let me grab my mini dimensionals. I'm not sure if the, let's see if these are going to be too wide. I'm not sure what that is on the back of there. Oh, a little piece of adhesive. Yeah, these will fit. So we'll just use our regular Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, and then just put that right to the right, just like that. And then all you have to do here is peel your backing off. And then put your little flower, whatever you decide to use that on, wherever you want it. Now, I did use the rhinestones, but today, I think, ooh, I just about spilled that tray with my reinkers in it. I think today what I'm going to try to do is color in, make sure I have the right Stampin' Blends. Yes, this is the dark Rococo Rose. I'm going to use the whiter tip, and I'm just going to color some of these. I didn't really like the, just the silver. So I'm just going to color a few of these, and I'm just going to color them all Rococo Rose, because that was really the color that I was wanting the card to turn out to be, that and the Daffodil Delight. I don't think, let's try the Daffodil Delight and see, but I don't think they'll show up too well. That is Mango Melody. Let me see. This is the dark Daffodil Delight. We'll give it a try and see. Yeah, see, it just kind of washed. I mean, you can see it, but it's not as vibrant. And I don't think the mint macaron would show up that well either. So we'll just do the pink. So let's just go ahead and we'll start placing these. I hope that that's dry. I probably should have did that a little bit earlier in the video. I'm going to place one there, and you can go back over them even after they're on the card. You just want to be careful that you're not getting that ink like I just did right there on the card. I don't know if that, nope, I was hoping that that would take that up, but it didn't. So just be careful with that. So let's go ahead and grab, I might be out of my putty. I'm going to grab another big one and place right there. And then just for fun, because I colored the yellow ones, we'll go ahead and put them on here too. Let's put one right there. And then we'll put this other one up there in that corner. And then I do want to scatter a few more of the, let's do a pink one there. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it like that. I like how that turned out. Maybe we'll put one here, one of the pink ones, the Rococo Rose, on our sentiments. And then since I have one more, let's see what it would look like. Maybe there. Just because I colored it. Okay, guys, that is it for today's project. I hope that you like it. I did spray this one with, I put a little bit in one of our, this is the wrong one. Let me find the right one. Well, I'm not sure where I put it, but anyway. Oh, here it is. This is the Shimmer Paint, the silver Shimmer Paint, and I just put a little bit in there with water. I can't remember if I put alcohol in there or not. I think just water. And I did spray that, so I will show you the difference. This one has the shimmer. And the reason I didn't do it is because the white embossing powder kind of has its own shimmer, and you really couldn't see. I don't know if you guys can see the difference or not. but I did not do it on that one, but it is on that one. Okay, thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe button. Bye-bye, guys.